Met Gala 2026 is absurd. Every year the Met Gala gets bigger, and this year is no exception. It is the most expensive dinner ever served, costing around $100,000 to plate up. Outside, over 200 journalists jockey for a position to cover one of the biggest events of the year. They see a red carpet, which alone is worth $850,000. But they ignore the industrial engine grinding in the dark. Behind the glitzy seats costing $100,000 a pop, there's a high-stakes capital campaign and an industrial machine that powers it. Anna Wintour annually raises tens of millions of dollars with her standout event. She hands that wad of cash over to the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. This year she aims to break last year's record of over $31 million. And the engine behind it are more than 300 union workers. A $6.2 million operational burn rate is active, and every celebrity attending is an endorsement deal opportunity. So let's look at the promoter's ledger. This is the industrial reality of the 2026 Met Gala, where every second is a high-risk gamble. The machine is officially on. A master tailor sits in a windowless museum basement. Her fingers tremble while threading a silver needle. She has 4 minutes to repair a jagged tear. The silk in her hands costs more than a house. Outside, the world stares at diamonds and flashing bulbs. There is a sharp divide between the untouchable celebrities in their archival couture and the fans behind the barricades, many of whom have waited hours just for a 5-second glimpse. This is not a party for the $100,000 seat. It is a capital campaign wearing a costume. Anna Wintour expects to raise over $31 million for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. Under the custom lace, 300 union workers are sweating. A $6.2 million operational burn rate is active. One clumsy move could erase 5,000 years of human art. The real prize is not a spot on a list. It is the commercial launch of a $50 million expansion. To understand this event, you have to follow the money. You have to look at the promoter's ledger. The Met Gala is no simple fundraiser. It is a global monopoly on luxury media impact. Revenue should cross $31 million tonight. Individual tickets now cost $100,000. That price has jumped $50,000 since 2023. But real wealth moves across corporate tables. Dior and Chanel pay up to $500,000 per table. They are not buying salads for famous friends. They are buying a high-yield marketing asset. This night generates $1.4 billion in media value. That beats the Super Bowl halftime show. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez Bezos are the lead sponsors for the Met Gala. Their support enables them to set the theme for this year's gala. Some say there has been backlash for their support in the US customs agencies and call them a sellout. However, their donation is a massive inflow of pure, liquid capital. The museum uses this cash to fund its entire year. Without this night, the Costume Institute would die. Every celebrity on the stairs is a walking investment. Exclusivity is a tool for the highest price. By shrinking the list, they make the demand infinite. Fashion houses list these tables as a marketing expense. Return on investment happens in real time. One viral photo of an actor pays for everything. A non-profit museum out-earns tech startups in 4 hours. It is a tax-exempt funnel for elite brands. They pay for the proximity. The museum provides the history. The ledger stays perfectly black. The Costume Institute is the only metropolitan department that is self-funded. They do not rely on city grants or small donations. They rely only on the Anna Wintour tax. Brands pay it because they have no other choice. If you are not at the table, you do not exist in the luxury market. It is an asphyxiating grip on the fashion industry's throat. And the museum is the only one holding the keys. Tonight is the launch of the Condé M Nast Galleries. It is a 12,000 square foot permanent fortress. The construction costs were incredibly high. It cost $4,160 per foot. A luxury home costs about $400,000. The gap is not about gold faucets or trim. It is about the heavy architecture of the north wing. The floors are reinforced with industrial steel supports. Some costume art pieces weigh over 200 pounds. The floor must hold them, plus 600 guests. Most museum floors would crack under that density. Engineers hid seismic sensors under the stone. These sensors track the dancing crowd's vibrations. If the shaking gets too high, the art breaks. Small movements cause microscopic cracks in ancient silk. This is a nightclub built inside a secure vault. The display glass is boron infused for perfect clarity. It can also stop high-velocity impact. Fiber optic lights prevent heat from burning old fabrics. Every inch of this gallery is a mechanical victory. The museum spent $50 million to make it look easy. But the infrastructure is built like a nuclear bunker. It has its own dedicated power grid. It has a filtered air supply. It is a permanent monument to the brand name. The gala is just a ribbon cutting for the vault. The structural load was tested for 18 months before tonight. They used sandbags to mimic the weight of a celebrity crowd. Every pillar was checked for stress fractures. This is because the art being housed is irreplaceable. You cannot fix a gown from the 1800s if a floorboard snaps. The Condé Nast name is now carved into the stone forever. The gala paid for the building. The building will now house the profit. Changing the museum is a logistical nightmare. 300 union workers arrive 2 days early. They build 30,000 square feet of temporary carpet. This frame covers the massive stairs on Fifth Avenue. It must hold hundreds of screaming photographers. It also supports heavy industrial lighting rigs. This temporary build costs $850,000. While they hammer, 250,000 flowers arrive. These are not simple plants in vases. They are custom floral sculptures built by specialized artisans. They use steel armatures to keep the stems in place. Inside, the NYPD creates a frozen zone. Security for the night costs $750,000. This covers K9 units and a no-fly zone over the museum. Private guards stand inches from the artifacts. They ensure no guest touches the 5,000-year-old silk. The production crew works 3 shifts non-stop. Every minute is billed at specialized overtime rates. The museum pays $1.2 million for labor. If one stagehand falls behind, the schedule dies. By Monday morning, the museum looks like heaven. But 2 days ago, it was a noisy construction site. Dumpsters are full of scrap metal and wood. Kitchens are built in basement storage rooms. Refrigerators line the blocks for miles. It is a city built for 4 hours of life. The efficiency is cold and brutal. The floral budget alone is $500,000. Every stem is imported and refrigerated until the last second. One mistake in the delivery chain costs hundreds of thousands. Vendor contracts are signed a year in advance. There are no refunds for rain or late arrivals. The machine moves forward or it breaks. The biggest threat is no thief. It is the guest's breath. The museum is usually cool and dry, but 600 people change the chemistry. Each guest emits 100 watts of heat. Combined, that is 60,000 watts of energy hitting the room. They release huge amounts of moisture while breathing. This is called the moisture influx. In a house, the windows would fog up. In the Met, water forms on the ancient art. This leads to mold and rot in archival silk. Engineers use the humidity shock protocol to combat the influx. They activate chilled water coils 12 hours early. They supercool the stone walls and the floors. The stone acts as a giant heat sink to soak up the warmth. When guests arrive, the cold stone kills the heat spike. Dehumidifiers in the basement work at full power. They pull gallons of water out of the air every hour. The museum spends $300,000 on power tonight. If the HVAC fails for 5 minutes, the night is over. Insurance riders on the art would trigger immediately. One humidity spike costs $50,000 per dress. Engineers watch the dew point every 10 seconds on digital screens. It is a silent war with the laws of physics. Guest comfort is the last concern. Survival of the art is the only priority. The air itself is a weapon against the exhibition. The museum fights to keep the relative humidity at exactly 50%. Anything higher, and the silk begins to stretch. Anything lower, and the fabric becomes brittle. It is a delicate balance held together by industrial pumps. 12 master tailors wait in the museum basement. This is the emergency room for high-end couture. They manage a $500 million liability. The theme is costume art. This means guests wear actual museum pieces or archival replicas. Insurance for these live displays is huge. Tailors ensure the fabric never touches the floor. They use fast chemicals to stop stains instantly. If wine spills on a vintage gown, they move like a SWAT team. Failure is the loss of a cultural artifact. In the kitchens, another battle is being fought. 600 meals are cooked in the basement. The catering budget is $250,000. They use temporary setups built for this night. Every plate must hit Michelin standards. Every server knows how to walk near the art. They cannot carry trays above their shoulders. One trip could destroy $1 million display. It is a high-speed dance in a high-risk vault. The pressure on the staff is extreme. They are the ghosts keeping the dream alive. If a zipper snaps on a $70,000 gown, their night is over. The tailor must fix it without leaving a mark. They work under surgical lights with jeweler's tools. This is the most stressful sewing job on earth. One mistake is recorded by every camera in the world. The gala is a financial power exercise. One night funds 5,000 years of art. The $50 million gallery stays forever. The infrastructure is gone by Tuesday morning. The union workers remain on site to make sure everything returns to its original status. The red carpet is in the trash. The flowers are in the dumpster. Only the ledger remains, and in the black. $31 million in revenue, $6.2 million in overhead. The machine is already powering down. The industrial cycle begins to reset for next year. And just like that, the vault closed.